Good evening. Thank you for tuning in for this episode of the Nightstalker Podcast. Just a quick disclaimer, this podcast sometimes deals with adult topics like violence and religious content that may be offensive for some. Thank you for listening, my dudes, and let's just get right into it. Good evening, and welcome to the Nightstalker Podcast. I am your host, the Nightstalker.
I'm the Professor,
Smokey.
And, how's everyone been? How's everyone enjoying 2020?
It's been a crazy one this year.
Whew.
I can't believe it's literally gonna be February tomorrow. I thought New Year's was just like yesterday.
Hey man, what did we talk about breaking the fourth wall? They don't know when we record this, when we release it.
Oh, you're right. Let's start all over again. just edit that out. Put like some funny music in or something.
Got it.
Or intermission. That's what we should do. We should have like an intermission. We'll be right back. Bring that meme back or something. So today's topic: aliens.
Aliens.
Them aliens. Let's see them aliens. So, you know what's funny? I realize is there's so much content on just theorizing aliens. It's all really the same. Like I'm sure everyone has had a sleepless summer night and they turn on History Channel and there's a theme on aliens. You know?
The great ones.
Yeah, the ancient ones.
The ancient ones.
Yeah. And it's always like,
they're coming back and fucking us.
Yeah.
Mixing with humans.
Probing us.
Anal probes.
Anal probes.
Yeah, real nasty stuff.
Man.
And it's always, they talk about the Egyptians, they talk about the Mayans, I think the Peruvians. It's always just the same stuff over and over, really. But, aliens, just... what else do you really say about them? I mean,
what I think is crazy is that the government's finally saying that shit's for real. You know what I mean? Like, they're like, alright, no bullshit no more, guys. Like,
you and I had a conversation about it. That's right. They're pretty much kind of like not denying it. They're kind of like, there might be something, versus just being like, oh, don't be ridiculous,
Which I feel like was their move for a while, was just to discredit and ignore. You know what I mean?
Do you think they're trying to, not desensitize, but do you think it's been a process of, like, maybe, I guess desensitize is the word, like, okay, there's no aliens,
I think there's a reason that there's got to be a reason why they're saying now that there's aliens rather than 10, 15 years ago saying it,
put them in a mental ward.
I think it's because of, like, today's shitposting culture.
Right.
No one takes stuff seriously anymore.
So you think this is the perfect time for them to just drop it and it wouldn't...
Because it's just going to become a meme.
Hiding it in plain sight. Kind of like that.
I feel that. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's weird to me that they're just now, for some reason, saying that it's real when they could have... they could have been said it was real and we got this stuff, or they could have just kept denying it. You know what I mean? I thought they would have just kept denying it and just like, oh, yeah, nothing to see here. You know what I mean? But...
well, last year, of course, we had the big old Facebook event of Storm Area 51, where everyone was going to Naruto run into Area 51. Mm-hmm. And the tagline was literally just, let's see them aliens.
And then you had the video that came out on the news.
Oh my god, I've seen this one video, it's just this one reporter there, and there's just a few people in the background. He's like, yeah, this is all who showed up, not to, like, Area 51, but, like, like a mile or two before, like, the don't enter zone. And this guy just Naruto runs right past the guy in the camera, and it's just great. It's just like, that sums up this
If you Naruto run, they can't shoot you with bullets.
That is true. And they were talking about how they were going to get, like, the all the Kyles to, like, do an assault, and they were going to get the Florida men to help out, It was going to be one big meme.
That's why they're finally, telling us that aliens exist, because stuff like this happens.
Yeah, probably.
A huge conspiracy theorist, site, like Area 51, they're finally saying, hey, it's open. And then people just Naruto run there.
I think the best is how there's all the memes coming out that time. Like, people be like, how I'm going into Area 51. It's like, you on a skateboard. And then it's like, how I'm leaving. Now they're like on a hoverboard.
Because you got some tech.
Yeah, or it's like me going to Area 51 like on a horse, and this is like me leaving on T-Rex. The memes were great. That was like the peak of the year for memes. Was just that Area 51 theme. There was so many. Mm-hmm. I had something I was gonna say, and then the memes got me distracted.
Isn't that their job though, to distract?
Pretty much.
Mission accomplished.
I mean, everyone's kind of theorized anyways that Area 51 is probably just a cover, and if they had anything like that, it'd be like in Area 52.
Area,
you know? Something that no one knows about. Area 51
they probably moved all of their stuff. And like, hey, Area 51 is open.
I mean, just on the topic of Area 51, maybe back in the 50s, I do believe maybe if it had anything going on that was top secret, it'd be like space-related, like, not space, but like, weapons, but, flight, that's what I meant, like, flight, like, I think our Blackbird, or the stealth bomber was, like, produced out, like, something like that, you know?
Like, 51, or, like, right next to it, or something like that.
Exactly, yeah, when stealth tech was really coming into its own. Mm-hmm. So, like, I can really see that being, like, what it was used for. If anything now, I think it's just probably just stores old, you know, maybe radioactive stuff that just needs a storage somewhere, you know? So I don't really think there's anything there, even if you dig it in.
Or what if they left everything there? It's just that we already know about everything now.
Right?
So there's nothing to hide.
Yeah, they're just kind of like, whatever. Who knows? I mean, it's always funny. You always hear weird things about Air Force bases in general. I mean, you know, not to give away our location, but we know of a place near here called Bale Air Force Base.
I think that gave away our location.
That doesn't give away our location. That doesn't say what city we're in. We just know where Bale is. Like, we can be all the way up in Redding, or Oregon, or Nevada. That doesn't mean we're in California or in Mexico. You know? Plot twist, we are in Mexico. No, actually the bigger plot twist, we're Canadian.
Welcome to our podcast, Once Upon a Time in Canada.
Welcome to... Good evening, this is the Nightstalker Podcast. Just like, I think we insulted someone. Oh, sorry about that. Our podcast is an hour long today. Sorry about the time, I've been talking for like 2 minutes straight. Sorry. Oh man, before we get hated on by any Canadian listeners. No, like you just hear just in any Air Force. But I do know of this Air Force base called Bale, and I have heard people who live in an area called Wheatland say that, yeah, you go out at night because there's nothing there. They're like, yeah, you see some pretty weird stuff in the skies. Whether it's Air Force or whatever, there's always weird stuff in the sky. And guess what's next to it? Bale Air Force Base. So, there's always weird stuff revolving around those, I guess. But, yeah, Area 51, I do feel like if there's anything there now, it's either, yeah, they don't care because they just know, oh, no one's going to get in, or it's just no longer in use like that.
Yeah.
Because I think back in the 50s or 60s, or maybe even the 70s, was when, yeah, exactly. I think that's when you had the most activity with people being brought in by bus. You know, the workers came in by, no one just drove up to work like, hey, morning, Bob, you know, I got my coffee, ready to work on these aliens. It was, you know, everyone had to meet, get into the bus brought you into work, bus brought you out of work, and then you were dropped off wherever, you know? But there's really no activity like that no more. You have all your crazy people who kind of keep watch on it, and they're just kind of like, oh yeah, it's not really hopping like it was back in the day.
Yeah.
So if they have something, it'd be a totally secret location.
On the moon.
Right?
The dark side?
Dark side of the moon. You know, some people say the moon is hollow. Like, I read this report, or was I told, one of the two, they did, what's it called when you, release, not like electromagnetic waves, but something where, like, it goes
through it. And
it like, bounces off stuff and it comes back.
Oh, like, kind of, like, sonar? Or
kind of like sonar.
Kinda?
Yeah.
It's not like so, but it is like so. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. So apparently they did this towards the moon because it was able to reach, and they were like, yeah, the reports coming back show that the moon is like hollow. It's not like it's solid. So that's kind of, I guess, interesting. I don't know whether there's any bases in there. Maybe that's when the Nazis escaped. They're hiding in the moon, waiting to bring back the Fourth Reich.
Jeez.
There's actually a small population of humans there. The government's been secretly smuggling them up to the moon without us knowing.
It's where Elon Musk is working on making Catgirls a reality. I think the biggest disappointment I've heard about the moon is that it's not really made of cheese. That breaks my heart, actually.
Honestly, I'm not really a big fan of cheese, but yeah. Like, Tom and Jerry, they had, like, this skit that they go to the moon and it's made of cheese.
I remember.
How about Wallace and Gromit?
That, too.
Yeah, that was, like, the best one. The guy's up there, it's just like, well, I gotta say, this is, like, the oddest tasting cheese I've tasted, you know? But whether anything's actually on the dark side of the moon, who knows? It's just so funny. Aliens.
Speaking of aliens, what do you, like, imagine first when someone says aliens?
Well, I mean, when you look up aliens in terms of, like, let's just go from when you're a kid, anything that would be kid-friendly would be your stereotypical, has, like, that, that shaped head. I can't describe it other than alien.
Head,
yeah.
It's like slightly bulbular at the top.
Yeah, and then the big eyes, and then like essentially Roger from American Dad.
Yeah, so like the Grey.
The Grey.
Yeah, they're called Greys.
Yeah.
And why do you think that's the first image someone has of an alien?
There's a reason. There's a reason. I think.
Or what is the word when something resembles a human?
Anthropomorphic.
I was going to say animal.
Well, I swore, I saw this back in the day. This was around in the 50s when the whole Area 51 thing, but it's when they said that there was a flying saucer crash in New Mexico, and this family found it, and I think they found one of them trying to get out of it, and that's how they described it. I could be wrong. I'm not saying I'm right here. I do think that's where that first kind of image comes from. Because then the government came and they were like, oh yeah, a weather balloon crashed, and then they took it. And I believe there was a piece of metal that was left behind, so the family just kind of looked at it and they're like, yo, like, this is not from this planet. But it's been years since I saw that. I think I saw that on, like, Discovery Channel. So
back when they actually made educational videos.
What do they make now?
Like almost like reality
people
TV.
Who like flip cars and like Pawn
like
Stars.
TV.
Oh yeah, Duck Season or Duck Dynasty.
Yeah, those Bering Sea Gold or like.
You know which one I liked for a while? I don't know if it was National Geographic or it was one of the two. The Life Below Zero, where they would talk about the people living in Alaska and stuff. Kind of like those ones. Even though they're like reality TV shows, but like they seem a little more realistic.
It's really funny you brought up Alaska because a lot of people who talk about quote unquote UFO activity is in Alaska, specifically like kind of in the like northern part where you can see the northern lights.
Makes sense, yeah.
They say
less populated.
Mm-hmm.
What if aliens are actually just tourists? And the reason why there's a lot of sightings, quote unquote sightings in Alaska, or like up north, or like we don't know, maybe there's some in the South Pole, is because they're like visiting the aurora, and they want to see it.
Could be. I mean, I always bring up Christian viewpoints. I mean, I've heard some Christian, I don't know what you call them, scientists or theorists, but some people have theorized that one, aliens is made up. And there's no actual thing, it's just the government trying to make people think there's something just so it can get people to kind of disbelieve in God. Because obviously in the Bible it's like, God created the universe. So if you make it seem like, oh, there's something else out there, it makes you question like, well, wait a minute, did God make them? And if not, then who did?
God made everything.
That's what I would assume too, even if there was something out there.
I don't think aliens disproves God, just like I don't think dinosaurs disproves God, you know what I mean?
Well, you got your people out there. I mean, if you're an atheist listening, I'm not going to, like, roast you or anything, but you do have some of these, like, more hardcore atheists who just, like, as soon as, like, whether it's dinosaurs or aliens, just go, ha-ha, look, I proved you wrong, and it's just like, come on now, like, but, I've heard people bring up that theory. And I've also heard a theory from, like I said, I'll call them Christian theorists, that, like, it's actually the fallen angels and their fallen angel technology. And it's kind of along the same lines of to get people to disbelieve. So...
Wait, why would it be disbelief, though, if they're angels?
Fallen angels.
Okay, fallen angels.
Fallen angels, yeah. No, these aren't the ones on Northside, Chief. These are the ones who want
Can they be, any of them be good angels at all? Is that a possibility?
Not really. If they're good angels, though, any good angel would really be in heaven unless they came down here for a specific reason to, like, maybe help someone. You know, the whole quote unquote guardian angel theme.
Well, I mean, that could be their mission, and we just don't. You know,
that's their way of checking up on people.
You know what I mean? We just can't understand it. Just like I'm sure you wouldn't. Oh, that's Michael. Like you wouldn't just be like, oh, that's I see Michael. I know
that's
that
my guy. That's
yeah,
Mike.
You know that's my guy. You know, what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I would be like, I would see if I was to see an angel, like I wouldn't even know what I'm seeing. You know what I mean? So I could then take that and say alien. You know what I mean? Like I don't know.
Yeah, no, exactly. I mean. You know, when talking about aliens, it's just all it really is theory, because how can you really pinpoint anything?
Yeah, that's the thing. Like,
there's no real concrete fact. We can talk about different stories and theories all day long just on them, you know? I mean, from talking about the whole ancient civilizations, you know, you got people who say that the aliens built the pyramids because of how heavy they are, you know? And I'm not saying that aliens did, but you do think about the pyramids, and, like, those stones, they're made of, what, granite? Or, limestone?
Limestone, I would say.
Yeah, and they're, like, what? Like, one big square of, like, 10 by 10 is what? Like,
the way they fit
2 tons or something like that?
Something like that.
And then you get to, when you start stacking them, you're just like, wait, how the hell did they put them that high?
Yeah.
You know? So, no, it is interesting to think about, but, like, yeah, we could theorize all day long. It's just so weird to have a subject, but you don't have any facts. You gotta just go based on theory and kind of what you believe, you know?
That's where the faith comes in.
It is. It's exactly where the faith comes in. I do know this. There is, you guys can look this up. It's called Project Moonbeam. It was, and like I said, look it up. So Project Moonbeam was this, I don't know if it was a government, United Nations, New World Order. I don't know who put it out there. I think it came from the United Nations, but like it was essentially this classified document saying that in order to maybe bring the world more together, they would make a fake alien invasion to like help bring people together more.
War is peace.
War is peace. And of course but the thing is, it was talking about making projectors to make it look like there was stuff in the sky when there's really not. It's not like they built these ships, it's all going to be projected. You know? Kind of goes into ignorance is bliss, I guess. You know? But, like I said, you can look it up, you know, it's called Project Moonbeam. There's other weird...
Google it, bitch.
Or DuckDuckGo, if you don't like Google like myself.
Shoot.
But,
Big brother.
Big brother's watching.
Shoot.
But, no, it's just crazy on how everyone kind of views them, you know? Like, I'm sure different countries have their own opinions of, like, extraterrestrial life and stuff like that. I mean, I know here... it's a little different because, you know, we obviously had the stuff going on in New Mexico, we have Area 51, Alaska sightings, but someone in Britain might go like, oh, well, there's a lot of activity near Stonehenge, you know, so we talk about, you know, they might talk about that a bunch, you know? So it's just kind of interesting, like, kind of what each culture around the world has in terms of, like, aliens, you know, like, what do they think in China? Do they even talk about aliens? You know, in China, and I'm not, you know, this isn't crapping on any beliefs, because I think they take it seriously there. They believe in dragons. Mm-hmm. Like, straight up believe in dragons.
They build buildings in a way that kind of reflects that belief.
They do, yeah. And a lot of them say, like, yeah, you can... I mean, like, I'm not saying, like, maybe those in Shanghai, but, like, maybe in the rural area, they might tell you, like, yeah, you know, there's dragon sightings in, like, the, you know, like, near the mountains and stuff, you know?
That's the things about being human, is that we always are quick to assume something.
Yeah.
Like, we take something we don't understand, and we want to put a label on it that we do understand, that we do know. And I feel like this is one of those big things. It's like, how do we explain this? We can't. So let's just say it's not of earthly origin, or you know.
Oh yeah, I mean that's where the whole a lot of people fear what they don't understand.
Yeah. That's how religion was made, basically, kinda, sorta, not really. Never mind.
But no, I mean, like, I can understand someone who, kind of thinks to himself one day, like, here I am on this spinning marble, if that's what they believe, I'm not gonna... You got many people who have different beliefs on whether we're on a marble or a flat earth.
A flat thing.
Hey, man, I mean, like, unless you can prove it wrong, who's not to say it's right,
There's so much ways to prove that wrong. It's ridiculous.
Earth is actually a frisbee, and each year is like someone throws it, and then this giant space dog catches it and brings it back to its home.
Brings it straight back, and that's one.
That's
year.
1 year.
That's
Dude.
That.
And if you show me any picture otherwise, I'll say it's a lie. Fabricated.
And that's
all fabricated.
That's also the most wholesome way to describe our existence.
We're just on the back of a giant frisbee playing catch with this space dog.
This owner and his good boy. I was on to something. Pretty much, whatever you believe on the Earth, you then go, okay, I'm in this universe now that is essentially, there's planets, but it's essentially empty. And then you think, well, wait a minute, am I... Not saying that there's not other people on the Earth, but, like, are we the only thing on this one speck in this whole universe that's so big it would take lifetimes to get from, like, one end... Eons, yeah, to another end.
Yeah.
And we're the only life force that's alive.
I feel like it goes back to also, like, thinking, like, even, like, in this world, like, am I the center of this world? Like, does everything in this world revolve around me? No. You know what I mean? So I don't think it's out there to think that there's other things on other places, you know what I mean? That, like, and still have it lined up with, like, okay, God could create that. He made me too, you know what I mean? He didn't make me and be like, okay, I made this person and, like, now I'm going to build the world around him. You know what I mean? He made the world. So, like, just because my comprehension and my perception don't see aliens doesn't understand that the dragon might be the alien or the fucking Bigfoot might be the alien. You know what I mean? I might be half alien. I don't know. The pyramid's all alien. My perception doesn't see it, but it could be. You know what I mean? And it could be a lot of other things, and it could all be bullshit too. I don't know.
So researching about all this alien stuff was like pulling teeth.
Yeah.
You put aliens in Google, and you come out with like millions of search results that aren't about aliens.
Yeah.
But I did find something regarding, like, if we're, like, how would you be able to calculate life on other parts of the universe?
Mm-hmm.
There's actually this equation called the Drake equation.
Yeah.
Written by Frank Drake.
Okay, so it's not
as a way to stimulate scientific dialogue at the scientific meeting on the search for extraterrestrial intelligence.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not like an actual equation because a lot of the numbers it represents are very subjective.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're not like concrete facts or something that we can prove.
Yeah.
Like I'm pretty sure it relies on guesstimating the fraction of planets that could support life.
Yeah.
And all that stuff. But yeah, some people have actually tried to quantify life, like how much life is in the universe as we know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, I mean, there's so many big questions out there. I mean, and it's not even stuff that's outside of Earth. Scientists say that we know more about space in the universe than we know more about our actual ocean. And that's huge. And to me, that's pretty big because I was like, wait a minute, you tell me you know more about stuff that's out there that we've never been? I'm not saying, obviously it's not like we've ever been to the bottom of the ocean, but this is here on Earth. We've been at least to part of the deep parts of the ocean. and we know more about places that we'll never reach than places that we could potentially reach.
Yeah, we know what black holes look like now, but we don't know if my swimming pool has a megalodon in it, you know?
Yeah.
Like, when you're swimming in deep water, you're just expecting some big-ass creature to just come up and, like, eat you.
We're, like, just now finding giant squids and shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. And we're not even 100% sure.
Right?
Shoot.
Well, I mean, you know, they've always talked about... It's funny how you brought up giant squids because, you know, there's giant squids have been known about for a while, but they're not, you know, maybe they're like 30 feet long, and they're hunted by sperm whales. But just recently, I think, maybe not too recent, maybe a year or two ago, but they found the remains of like maybe a 60-foot one? Or like 70 feet? And, you know, it just makes them go like, how big do these things get? Are there 100-foot squids down there? Are there, you know, the blue whale's the biggest thing here, living thing on the planet. It's, you know, it's 100 feet long, like 100 tons.
But is it really?
I think it's fair to say it is. Have you ever seen the videos of the blue whales, their tails come up? It's actually really majestic. No lie, if I ever have a chance to go whale watching and get to see that, I would really like to see that. But, you know, who's to say there's not something bigger down there? Like a Godzilla thing.
I mean, Hebrew mythology did depict a beast of the ocean called the Leviathan.
Yep. You know what's crazy? I do know this from Revelation. They talk about the Leviathan will be killed and will come on land. So, you know, who's not to say that there won't be something of like, yeah, like a 1,000-foot creature washed up dead on the shore of Africa, you know? And if that's it, it's like, oh, that was it.
Squid, shit.
Yeah, it could be a giant squid, it could be a whale, who knows what it is? Could be the Kraken.
Dolphins start flying out of the oceans because they sense our impending doom.
Right.
Shoot. Or they just start becoming land mammals.
They just like walk up.
For real.
It's kind of...
Not even with feet, it's just their fins. They walk with their fins like this, and you're just like, what the hell?
It's kind of cool how dolphins are really intelligent. They're like, I think, the second most intelligent behind humans. But that might be...
More intelligent than, like, apes, like chimpanzees?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? No, you're right. You're right, actually.
Yeah, but that might be our ego talking. Maybe dolphins are smarter than us. And they're just letting us have our way, you know? Because it's kind of like the spoiled little, like, sibling being spoiled by their older sibling.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows, man?
Who knows? Well, you know my theory when it comes to animal intelligence, that certain animals might be plotting to do something because they're secretly intelligent. Chickens. But, you know... Yeah, who's not to say that there's something that is smarter than us that's here, but maybe it just doesn't have the means to show its intelligence.
Yeah.
You know? Like, an ant could be the most intelligent thing, but it's so small compared to us that...
So ant culture is actually really cool. I've kind of been sucked into the rabbit hole of
Have you been watching Ants
ant
Canada?
farms. Yeah! You know that channel? Ants Canada!
Ants Canada!
I've learned so much about ants than I have, I think, in college.
Oh my gosh. No, you know, it's funny because ants and bees have such interesting... the way that they work in their colonies. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's crazy.
Yeah.
You know what I think sometimes? Like, how would, like, an amoeba, like, perceive... You know what I mean? Like, a single-celled organism. Or, like, some fucking, like a fungus or some shit, you know what I mean? Like, fungus is alive. How does it perceive the world? You know what I mean? Like, it don't have no eyes or anything either. Like, that's even more weirder than an insect, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, it's just...
I got this bag right now. I was out there today, fucking picking through some mushrooms growing in my backyard and shit. I got some substrate together, some wood chips and shit, and dug up a bunch of, what's it called? The white shit, not the mushroom, but the actual, like, because the mushroom is really just, like, the sex organ.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's what is it called? It starts with
the spore? Or
like, not the spores. The spores are, like, the little babies and shit. It's called the mycelium or some shit. It's the mycelium. It's, like, this white shit that grows in the ground, and then, like, the fucking mushroom comes up from it. So I dug up a bunch of it, put it in a bag, and, like, put some mold all over it and shit. I was trying to grow some mushrooms at the house. I have no idea what fucking variety.
I was gonna say, are these mushrooms you should be eating?
I have no clue. Like, I got a few different. Let me show you.
Oh my gosh, Smokey! Do not eat mushrooms without knowing what they are.
I got this picture that I'll show you.
Because it's either gonna be food, you're gonna have a really weird high, or you're just gonna die.
Yeah, I just killed myself.
I mean, have you ever watched Soul Plane? That's the whole reason why they got into that
this
like
is a big
situation.
reishi mushroom. It's like literally, it's crazy how big this one is. It's a bunch of different ones. There's even more. I got a whole fucking bottle. Those are the mushrooms, but then I got the mycelium from all the different ones. I put it all in one bag.
You know what you should do? Send that to Professor, and we'll put that in the video so people know what we're talking about.
I was trying to like fucking because I was looking at this book. I was trying to figure out like how to identify them, but it's like there's just like I try to do it online, and there's just so many different kinds that it like overwhelms me. You know what I mean? And like they all look the fucking same, so it's like fuck. Like I don't know what's good and what ain't.
I'm pretty sure there's a subreddit. It's like,
yeah, I gotta get on Reddit.
Identify this mushroom. r/mushroom.
Oh my gosh!
Like I'm
there's
trying to look them up
everything.
locally, you know what I mean? Like by region, so I know like okay, this mushroom resembles this one, but you only find this one in fucking here, and you only find this one over here. So obviously I have this. You know what I mean?
You know, Smokey, I've never asked you this. I'm actually curious. Let's say you were in zombie apocalypse, what have you. Could you be in the wilderness and know what to eat and what not to eat?
Shit, like kinda, you know what I mean?
Like, could you tell like a berry is like a bad berry versus?
I would watch animals, and like if I see like a bush full of, like say I'm in an area full of like, let's say like white-tailed deer or whatever, and I run across a bush full of berries, but none of them are eaten. You know what I mean? Like that's gonna lead me to think that like if there's a lot of deer in this area, they would be eating these berries, but these berries are not eaten. There's a lot of them on this bush. If I look over here, this tree is stripped. You know what I mean? Like this might not be edible for that reason. Just like when you see mushrooms like in the wild, they're not eaten because the animals know not to eat the mushrooms. They could be poisonous. That's why you see them. You're like, oh shit.
Yeah, that's why there's mushrooms abundance.
Yeah, you know that's why you see them all over. Yeah.
There's actually ways to test for poisonous substances.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So what you want to do is you want to take a sample first, and you want to do what's called a skin test.
Yeah.
So you rub it on your skin, wait like a few minutes, maybe an hour or so, and if it's red and irritated, that's poisonous. Don't eat it.
Yeah.
Next after that is like you want to, you know, like not put it in your mouth, but like touch your tongue, because the tongue is actually a really sensitive organ.
Yeah, if it's bitter,
if it's bitter, if it like inflames your tongue or something, that's poisonous. Don't eat it. After a while, you kind of want to like put it in your mouth, chew it a bit, then spit it out. If your mouth starts feeling like irritated or like burning,
I've had that happen to me before.
Don't eat it. Don't swallow it. It's poisonous.
It makes my whole mouth kind of sting. Not like sting, but like it's like this isn't right.
This ain't achievement.
And then lastly, you want to swallow just a little bit. And then after like a while and you don't feel anything, then it's probably safe.
That's what I was thinking about doing with the mushrooms. Like, but the other thing is like, I want to find them fresh because the ones I found were kind of like already starting to go bad and shit and rot, and like I feel like they got like mold and funguses on them now. Like I need to find it like when it first. I got one that just popped. Ooh, this big ass, the big white one. Ooh, just came out the ground. Like it looks fresh. Like I could. It looks like a portobello. Like I could cut this motherfucker off and eat it, serve it to a nigga. You know what I mean? Like, he wouldn't even know. Hey chief, you must hit the good store to find these. Oh yeah. But like I have no idea. So like I'm like, but like if I just the thing I was reading though about the mushrooms is that like you could do like a skin test and some shit and like not have no effects. But like when you ingest it and you start breaking it down, your body starts breaking. That's when you start gonna get the poisons. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's not just putting it on your skin might not make you react because like it hasn't been broken down into the fucking toxin. So like fucking. And another thing I was reading about mushrooms is you'll eat it, you might get sick for like a day or two, get a little better, and be good for like a few days, and then die. And you'll die like after like getting better. So you'll think you're like, oh, I came out of it. You know what I mean? I got sick. I came out of it. I'm good. And then you'll die like 5-6 days later. What the fuck? You know what I mean? So I'm like, ooh, like test it. Like
maybe,
I don't know.
Maybe you should take a picture of it and like maybe try to like match it on, like, the
See, that's what I've tried to do. I was trying to do it just kind of, like, real fast, though, but, like, there was just so many different varieties that it was overwhelming me, you know what I mean? Like, it would be different if, like, I had, like, an almanac or some, like, regional book that told me, like, in your region you find this, but, like, I was getting hits from, like, shit from all over the world, you know what I mean? And, like, so and mushrooms all have similar looks, that's the thing, so, like, it's very hard to, like, fucking see a mushroom and be like, this is this, and it's not, like, a cousin of this that will kill you. You know what I mean?
You could do the old movie cliche of, I don't know what this is, you don't know what this is, and I can't get this from the library. So you go to a college campus and you find someone who's a specialist in that subject and go, what is this? It always works in the horror movies. There's always that one guy who's...
always somebody with nothing to do.
Yes, I am.
Knowledge.
Yeah, like, yes, I am an expert in Mexican occultism.
For real.
I mean, when you think about it, mushrooms do look like aliens.
They do.
Shoot.
Maybe do the aliens of the plant world.
They even hybrids with the aliens, you know what I mean? They come back, splice a little DNA in us, splice a little DNA in that.
I don't know.
And then next you're gonna have, like, toads from Mario.
You tell me, shit.
Right?
Walking around like short little midgets with mushroom caps.
Right?
Tell me.
I was thinking of the Goombas for a second. I was just like, yeah, no, that would be kind of disturbing.
Maybe that's why Mario stomps on them all the time.
He does. He just knows.
They have a kill-on-sight order on them.
Yep.
Good.
And then he knows what the good mushrooms are, because those ones make them grow. But they don't look like the Goombas.
Sometimes he makes a mistake and gets the poison mushrooms.
Poison mushroom. Loses a life. Gets small again.
Sometimes he gets a little firepower. He finds a good flower.
Could you imagine if life was that easy? If you just eat something, you get massive gains.
For real. I mean, there are shit you can take from that.
There is, but, like, imagine doing this just instantaneous. Like Mario, he just takes a mushroom and he goes from being, like, small to, like, regular.
He grows twice the size.
Yeah, for real.
So, yeah.
You know, I read something... It's so hard because it always sucks when you remember something for so long ago because it's not like you talk about it daily.
Yeah.
So you're trying to remember where you saw it or like where you heard it from. But I just remember something saying that what if aliens they hide in the ocean because it's so deep and stuff, and maybe their ships can take the
submerge that deep.
Yeah. And I was just kind of like, to be fair. World's what? 75% ocean?
Yeah, that's where I would go. Shit.
I mean, what a place to hide,
Or in the permafrost or some shit like that, you know what I mean?
I've also heard Antarctica has weird activity. This I do believe is true. If you guys want to fact check it later, please do. But I heard that, so Antarctica, around it, has...
Hey, let me ask you a question real quick that I just thought of.
Okay.
My bad. If the world is flat...
Sure.
You know when you have magnets?
Yeah.
If the world is flat, how do we have magnetic poles? Like, wouldn't they'd be like right on top, like, you know what I mean? Like, it'd be like a magnet touching each other, you know? Like, there would be no poles. Or would it be like, you know what I mean? Like, would the poles just be on, like, this is on one side of the page and this is on the other side of the page? That doesn't work because it's not a pole. Because, like, if I'm in one place, that's not, you know what I mean? Like, the poles... The way it's supposed to work is like it's even from every, you know what I mean, from every around a sphere, you know what I mean, and that's what makes it a pole here and a pole there. But like if it's a pole here and like a pole here, that is, like
that doesn't
like this,
scientifically work.
That doesn't work, you know what I mean. So how does the magnetic that gives us like GPS and all this other stuff? So it's proven, it's real. How do we get that if the Earth is like?
But that's what the flat earthers will, say. They'll say, well, you can't see the magnetic poles, so of course they're not real.
Everything. That's the thing. It's like the appeal to authority, and then, okay, so my authority is better than your authority, and I just, disprove your
But
authority.
I did a 10-minute Google search.
Yeah. Google it, motherfucker. Google it.
I mean, I'll be honest, I'm not the best when it comes to science like that, so I wouldn't try to give my 2 cents, But I'm sure you can maybe find someone. You should talk to my dad. You should talk to my dad about that, because if anyone has an answer.
I was thinking about asking him. I was like,
yeah,
because I just thought of it.
Because he's actually more well versed versus. I mean, I'll be honest. There are some flat earthers who do just sound like downright insane. I know the whole theory is downright insane, but there are some people who do make actual good points, and then there are some people who just, are crazy. But no, like that's a good point.
Like
though.
The way a compass works, like
I was just thinking about it because I was thinking about my car. My car has a compass
like
in
right
it.
here, and you have the compass, but the pole is like over here, and the south one's like here because the shit's flat. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, how would it work, or would it be like right? Like it only works if they're like that. You know what I mean? And then like you're on this side, but your compass kind of like does like a rotation like this because it's rotating based on these, like not based on the surface that you're on, no matter what like side you're on. You know what I mean? When I'm trying
and while we're on the subject, and while we're on the subject of this, why does the Bermuda Triangle make compasses and everything go crazy?
Yeah.
Like, what's causing that magnetic interference? That's so strong.
That to me, like, I feel like that just more proves that there are poles. You know what I mean? And that's like an anomaly spot that, like, like say you got two magnets, but like one of the magnets might be chipped in an area. You know what I mean? And like it kind of repels weird when you kind of try to. That's what like the Bermuda Triangle is. It's like that little flaw in the poles. You know what I mean? But it just
who knows?
No,
I mean I think it's weird that Bermuda Triangle. Everyone always says there's storms and like this and that, but I mean like honestly the big thing of it is it just has magnetic interference, and that's why planes don't fly over it. That's why ships used to crash back in the day, because their compasses would go like this, and now they're like...
It's weird that I heard that they really still avoid that area.
No, they do to this day. They do not fly over it because it's near where the Bahamas, kind of.
Yeah. Kinda.
Yeah, it's kind of like past there.
Corner of Florida, Bahamas, and like another island or something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so like if you were flying from like, just to give an area, let's just say you're South America or Africa, and let's say you're flying to the United States, and let's just say your route's kind of through there. Yeah, that plane will straight up go around it.
Yeah,
it
probably seems easy to avoid.
Mm-hmm.
You just go on the fucking line.
No, of course you'll know when it's coming up.
Yeah.
But I'm sure they got marked out or mapped out however they do it. But no, because you go in, I mean, for ships, like I said, back in the day, for ships it was compasses don't work no more. So now they don't know where the hell they are.
What if the aliens got like a jammer?
What if it's an alien interference? What if their ship is in there and and that's why everything goes crazy?
Shit, and that's why Florida's crazy too, because they're so close. And shit, being
affected by the magnetic the magnetic resonance.
You know what I mean?
Waves.
The waves. It's hitting Florida. It's fucking with their mind. It's making the oranges grow nice and fat.
You hear these stories and you're just like, who would do that? And it goes in Florida, and you're like, oh.
That shit's crazy.
Like, one of the best ones I saw was Florida teen kicked off field trip because he kept RKOing an alligator. And I'm like, I don't know if this is false or not, but the fact that it's in Florida makes me go, it's probably real.
Florida,
or
man,
like, you know what else kills me about Florida? Is you hear about all the teachers fucking with the kids and shit. Like, it's just a thing down there. Like, you teachers be on.
It's so bad. It's so bad, regardless of the gender. But you hear about it. But that's everything. Even like I said, regardless of gender, it's both. It's not just male teacher with the female students. You got the female teachers going after the young bucks. Yep. And it's just. You're just like, what the hell is going on here? And it's not even like in a town or a county line. It's the whole state. You're like, what the hell is going on here?
It's the aliens.
It's the aliens. But and then what's funny is Europe's version is Polish man. Apparently Poland has a weird thing going on there too.
I feel like Poland is like a weird little area in Europe that's like a little thing, you know what I mean?
Well, they got some interesting history there. I mean, but not even just back in the old times, but I mean, they were in World War II, got divided by two superpowers, got their independence back. We're like half split between the Iron Curtain. You know, it's like they have so much history, and they're strong nationalists there. Mm-hmm. You know, like they are not down with the EU or any of that stuff. They're like Poland first, and you know what?
That's why it's like a full like.
Yeah. No, it's crazy.
They're not like the rest of the other Europeans.
So yeah, I feel like this conversation has deviated from
what
our original topic.
We'll get back to the subject of sushi later. Wait a minute, what are we doing?
Tuna or salmon?
Salmon, all the way. All the way. Heard it here from Nightstalker, your boy. What if for some reason we actually got like more popularity and had like say 1 million subscribers?
When?
Yeah, okay, but let's just not become douchebags when that happens. Like, just, you know, all of a sudden it's just like, hey yo, what's going on? It's your boy Night and the Pro and Smokey. Don't forget to smash that like and subscribe button.
Hey, order my fucking my meal plan.
Sponsored by Bane Energy.
Sponsored by Bane.
If we have like clickbait titles, just like an alien broke in my room and proposed to me, not clickbait. Professor said what on the internet?
What?
Just like
I meant who?
Who?
Are you still recording?
Yeah, we're still recording.
Yeah.
We're still recording.
We haven't stopped. We're just joking.
You're making Pazuki. Pazuki.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, no, like, what are we again? Aliens, right. It's just so funny because there's just so much to talk about. And then, of course, people go, well, wait a minute, if there were aliens, like, were they around 65 million years ago when the dinosaurs were around? And it's just like...
Fuck yeah, who knows?
I'm like, I don't know, cuz.
I wasn't there. Were you there, cuz? You tell me.
Exactly.
Show me a picture. I'll tell you fake.
But no, you know what? I know earlier you talked about aliens and what they might look like. We talked about the kind of the stereotypical one and the Roger looking one. But it does kind of make you think like, what would like?
I also saw another documentary, right? When you're talking about how they look, that talked about the fact that if they're aliens, right, because they develop on another planet, they're not even going to develop characteristics. Like, you know how, because we, on Earth, are dependent on light and shit, everything pretty much has eyes, that's kind of like a universal thing. Ears are like a universal thing. Like,
yeah.
If it was on another planet, they might not have none of that type of shit, you know what I mean?
Yeah, what if it's like a total dark planet?
A total different way.
They might use echolocation like bats.
Yeah.
So they might not have eyes.
Yeah, so like imagine...
They might not even speak a language.
That the way that like we kind of like imagine things, that's why people see that like the gray, like, because it's like human-like, you know what I mean? Like
not human, but at the same time it still has eyes.
It still has eyes, it still has a face, it still has the body of a human, you know what I mean? So it interacts in the world like a person would. But like a real alien would not even, you would see it and not even really know what you're seeing, you know what I mean? Because it would look so not of this earth. You know what I mean? Like,
that's the term alien.
The term aliens.
Well, I mean, I know they've toyed with this in movies, but like, it was one of the things I watched a long time ago. I remember at one point, my dad was super into alien stuff. So I would watch these YouTube feeds with him, or these websites. Mm-hmm. That's what you did when I was homeschooled. I'd just be up at 12 in the morning, like, Dad, what are you doing? He's just like looking up alien stuff, and I'm like, alright.
Dad, why are you up?
Yeah, part of the reason was he didn't have a job, but it's okay. I look up the stuff, and, these people who claim to have been abducted, well, what was really interesting, these people who claim to be abducted, they say once they're abducted, they get checked up on, like every, it's like kind of randomized.
They keep coming back?
They keep coming back. Mm-hmm. Like, once you're abducted, they keep coming back.
Mm-hmm.
It actually scared me as a kid, because I was, like, around 10.
Like to be, if you were like, or like to get possessed, or like, you know what I mean? Like some shit keeps fucking with you. It
keeps coming back.
Nobody else.
And there's no, there's no time. Like, put it this way, I just had a night terror this week, like two days ago. Mm-hmm. This is the first time I've had a night terror in a while. I haven't had one in like 5 months.
You know what helped with that? I haven't had a dream since I was like 15.
You know, Smokey.
When's the last time you could remember your dream?
Last night.
See, I haven't had a dream I can remember. Well, except for like times when I wasn't smoking weed for like at least 34 days.
You just admitted that on the podcast.
It was a while ago, but like I haven't had a dream I could remember in a long time. You know what I mean? Like,
you don't miss having dreams?
No, I do. That's like one thing I do miss.
Then
you know
stop!
But it's like, but like I'd be wondering, like I remember when I was younger, like I used to have the nightmares, and like I don't miss that. You know what I mean?
Okay, I see that point.
You know what I mean?
No, you know what's funny? I mean, we did a whole subject on dreams.
Yeah.
Nightstalker Podcast, episode 3. You know,
was it episode 3?
I thought it was. It goes Halloween. Huh?
No,
I wasn't here for that one.
No,
Alright, Smokey wasn't here for that
one. We were talking about dreams, and you know, just recently, it seems like my dreams I've been having more control in. It's actually kind of weird.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
don't look in the mirror.
I haven't been looking. There hasn't been any mirrors.
See, I have a dream like that where I have full control and I can like fly and shit. You know what I mean? I miss that type of shit.
I've learned from all my nightmares. It's almost subconscious in me. Anytime I'm in a dream, there, you know, even whether it's my house or wherever, if I know there's a reflective surface, I just subconsciously know not to look. Sometimes,
do you be getting chased in your nightmares?
Oh, dude,
I be getting the chase ones, bro. Like I be having to run from shit. Like when I be having nightmares. That's what I used to remember. Like I used to have ones where like I felt like I was running and I could not get away. You know when you're having that dream where like you feel like you get away, you're somewhere safe, and like as soon as you feel, it's like boom, you gotta like get away again. Like fuck. Ugh.
No, my last one I just had two nights ago.
Mm-hmm.
So this is what kind of messes with me sometimes, what sucks. So I'll have these bad dreams where I feel like I wake up and I'm in bed, but then something happens and I wake up again and I'm like, oh crap, I wasn't really awake. I had a dream one time, this was with my ex years ago. I had this dream that I had a bad dream. So I wake up kind of like, oh my god, I had a bad dream. And I went to wake her up because she's right next to me. Mm-hmm. And I turn her around. She was like legit like an alien or like a monster. She had like this weird like thing going on. So then I woke back up screaming and she was not. Now she's like, whoa, what the hell? And I'm like, oh my god, like I thought I woke up, but I wasn't awake. So this happened 2 nights ago. I thought I had woken up just from my sleep. And I heard like this, like, I don't want to say chanting, but I heard something, and what I felt like people were pulling my arms like this in my bed.
Ooh.
And then I woke up again, and when I woke up, I literally woke up almost like trying to punch.
Cold, like you being sacrificed type shit.
Something. And I was kind of like, damn, like, you know, I thought I was doing pretty well.
This is why I still have a nightlight.
I go to
full disclaimer, I do not have a nightlight. I have a lamp beside me, like on a bedside table, though. So when I wake up, I just turn it on.
I won't kid with you guys. Like, it doesn't matter all the martial arts and stuff I know. I actually do go to sleep either with my phone light on, and what I'll do is I'll put like something kind of over it so it's not too bright, but it's on enough where if I kind of wake up, I'm like, you know, I can see. Or I'll go on YouTube and I'll put like a playlist on of like certain like sounds, not to help me go to sleep, but just that it's background noise. Because I didn't realize this until maybe a couple weeks ago. So, obviously it's winter, so my heater will be on. And it has such that nice hum to it that one night it turned off because it wasn't, you know, it just turned off.
And then you noticed the difference.
I know. It was so quiet.
Yeah.
Like, so deafening quiet. I almost swore I heard my heartbeat. And I was like, yeah, I don't like this. I don't know what it is in the summer. It's not like my AC is on or anything, but like in the summer, it just I don't feel like I have that problem. But for some reason, I like woke up and I was like, oh, I wasn't even woken up yet. I hadn't gone to sleep, and the heater kicked off, and then I'm just like, yo, it's quiet, like really quiet.
Yeah.
And I just
you can be in this house by yourself. That's the scary part.
A lot of people tell me that. They're like, dude, how do you sleep in...
I remember I was in the house by myself at night and I was like, bro, No.
Well, I mean, like, I guess having a gun under my pillow kind of helps on that aspect, and knowing I can, like, drop someone. But the fact that waking up from nightmares doesn't help. Or the fact that I'm going to sleep feeling unnerved, you know. Or feeling nerved, I guess. Not unnerved, but nerved.
No, it's unnerved.
Oh, unnerved. Okay, I was right. So yeah, no, I'll either put something like some type of low, quiet, like just background noise.
I would leave this TV on.
I can't do that because the problem is I've tried that before. Like when I had a TV in my room, I'll put the TV on. One, it's either too bright, so now I can't really close my eyes. Or two, I hear it, now I want to watch it.
Yeah, I feel that.
You know.
You gotta turn it on, like you gotta turn the volume.
And there's Siri turning on at random again.
You gotta turn the volume on so you don't hear it, but you can see it. That's what I do.
Not true. No, that's why I just play like. Not music, but...
Because you won't want to watch it if you can't hear it. Like, you'll watch it for there, you'll be like, oh, we're just going to sleep.
Yeah, exactly.
You can put on the Nightstalker Podcast.
Yeah.
Right? There you go. We should do an episode helping people go to sleep. That's not ASMR. Because we'd be terrible.
I mean...
Nightstalker ASMR podcast.
It would just be us talking about random shit. I mean, kind of like this episode.
Except talking really quietly.
Yeah. Just put the volume down.
We should do a mukbang.
A mukbang podcast. Not even to our face, but like, oh yeah, we're eating food right now.
Dude, we should do that for like the 100th episode. We should celebrate by like eating. I mean, like we eat anyways during the podcast, but it's usually just snacks. But we should do something big one of these days. Yeah, no, I will be honest, and when I was a kid, I think it's because I looked at all that stuff with my dad. One of my biggest fears was waking up and seeing aliens in my room.
Yeah.
But
Signs, bro, that movie scared the fuck out
Or
of
The
me,
Fourth
bro.
Kind?
Oh, bro, if I'd have seen that when I was young, bro, it would have been over for me, bro. Over.
No, I actually...
Nighttime 12.
I avoided alien movies for a very long time when I was young. Because I didn't get into horror movies until I was like, not even
I love
like...
horror movies.
You don't or do?
I love them from a young age, bro. I used to scare myself on purpose.
I didn't get into them until high school when I got...
Whenever Darkness Falls... When did Darkness Falls come out? I think like 2002 was like the first time I seen like a real horror movie. And I was like, yeah.
As listeners of the Nightstalker Podcast know, the professor is a big wuss.
He doesn't like scary movies?
I do not like scary movies.
The professor has big brain and big cuddles, so women hit him up. But in terms of horror movies, that's not something he rolled high in.
2003, by the way, Darkness Falls.
Yeah,
You were
so
close.
03, yep, I knew it. That's when I started watching horror movies, and like I remember Darkness Falls fucked with me for a while, so I had to sleep with a nightlight. Because like the whole premise of that was like the tooth fairy was like killing people, and she could only be in the dark.
Mm-hmm.
Like so, like people would be fucked off. Like when the whole room went dark, they'd be trying to hide him. Like the one little light would go out, and she'd snatch it.
I think back in the day, my brother watched Boogeyman, which isn't even that scary of a movie. I can watch it right now and go to sleep, and that wouldn't even be my worry of having a night terror. But I remember Boogeyman scared me because the whole theme was the guy, after it happened when he was a kid and he had that encounter, when he grows up and goes in his house, he has no doors on his cabinets or his closets at all. Because he knows it could hide and stuff like that. So everything is just open. Yeah. And that I remember that kind of scared me for a while because I was...
Like the closed pantries and shit.
Because I was like, well, crap, I want my door to open when I'm my closet open when I'm asleep. But then again, I'm like, well, I
used
don't
to
want to
struggle with like, do I want to close the door and then I feel like cut off, or do I want to leave the door open and then I feel like someone can come in?
I've had that before. When I was a kid, I used to sleep with my door closed. I think I did because my sisters used to be really loud.
I was closed because then I feel like I was like cut off and like something would open it.
Well, what screwed me up, I was young, I was like probably around the same age, 10. I think that was like the real bad peak for me of all my night terrors was like around 9 and 10. That's when it was like really,
9,
really
10,
bad.
Is like when you start having real bad dreams and like shit gets scary for some reason. Because you can understand shit for a little
You
bit.
can kind of understand
But,
stuff
like,
now.
And now shit is, but like you're still young enough where the world is scary. You know what I mean? Like, and you don't feel like 13, 14, like I'm ready to take it on. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. No, I remember I had my door closed, and I had
dark is still fucking me up.
and I had a night terror where like stuff was coming, whether it was on my closet or whatever. So now I was now, not only did I not want to have my door closed, I didn't want to have it open. Because when I had it open, the hall, I used to have the room in the front of my parents' house. So when the door was open and all the lights are off, all you see is just this dark hallway.
Oh yeah, you're right for the hallway.
And then there's the other room across, which was my brother's, but because it's just another room that's just dark, it just looks like this even bigger dark pit, you know? So that scared me, so I wanted to close my door. But then once I had that, I was like, well crap, I don't want my door open, I don't want my door closed. So I would try to get my cat to sleep in the room with me. But she'd leave.
Yeah, fuck.
So as a kid, I don't know why, but my mom was reading me the one book, Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man.
That shit fucked me up for so long.
Bro.
Like, I couldn't stare at white walls because there's a story in there where it's like if you stare at a white wall, there's a face of like this anguished face that you'd see, and it would always be there. So I couldn't like stare at the wall, and like when I'd sleep, I can't sleep without a blanket. Like, I'd have to have the entire blanket cover me. Because I felt too exposed.
Yeah.
If like my leg or something wasn't covered by the blanket.
Yeah.
And then what was it? I had a night terror after editing the Cursed Objects episode of the Nightstalker Podcast.
So recent?
Yeah.
Oh man.
Have I told you about it?
No.
Okay, so I dreamed that I was in a cabin somewhere, and Annabelle was there. I was trying to sleep, and I was just telling myself, I need to sleep. Annabelle is here. But, like, when I finally, like, closed my eyes and go to sleep, I felt, like, a hand, like a small hand, like, grab my ankle. Mm-hmm. And so I'm just, like, yelling at myself, I need to wake up. So I'd wake up, and, you know, it's kind of like thinking you'd actually woken up. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, oh, okay, it's just a dream. It's like 2 a.m. I'm going to go back to sleep. And then I dreamed again, or the scene shifted, that I was in the Warren's Museum. And Annabelle was in the case right in front of me. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, oh shit, it's here. I need to hide. So I hide in this big cardboard box. And then I just feel this presence and this yelling that tells me, you think you can hide from me so easily? Oh, and just pressing down on my shoulders. Mm-hmm. And I'm just thinking to myself, oh shit, I need to wake up. And
that, like, dream pressure is
heavy.
Yeah, dream pressure is so heavy.
And then I finally wake up, like, for real this time. And so I, like, turn on my lamp. So I'm like, fuck.
Now it's, like, too light to go to sleep, but you're not turning the lamp off. Like,
no, having night terror, it's the worst. Because I've had them where I wake up at 5 o'clock. This is an hour before my alarm goes off. I'll wake up 5 o'clock from the night terror. I'll go back to sleep. Now my alarm's going off at 6. And dude, I'm drained. It's so bad. It feels like I just went to bed. Like, they had no sleep throughout the night. Yeah. It's bad. But, man. So, Annabelle in your dream, was she the movie porcelain doll, or was it the real...
The first part, when I was in the cabin, it was a porcelain doll.
Okay.
Because I felt like the articulated fingers of the porcelain doll.
Okay.
But when I was in the Warren's Museum, it was the Raggedy Ann.
Got it.
Because if you watch the Cursed Objects episode of the Nightstalker Podcast, I did include
5?
a picture of both the porcelain doll and the Raggedy Ann.
Yeah.
So that
Hollywood had to try to make it creepier.
Fuck, like editing these episodes.
Well, I mean,
makes me look over my shoulder more often.
I mean, you know what I do when I'm scared sometimes? Like, I'm by myself and shit. I'll be somewhere where I'm scared. Like, I feel like, especially like when I'm outside when it's dark. You know where I live, like, there's no lights and shit. So like,
yeah, you're in the cuts.
Yeah, I'm in the cuts and shit. So like, I feel like there could be like a person or some shit like off, like watching me or some shit, and like I'll straight up be like flex up and be like in all directions, like be like, nigga, what's up? like I see you. You know what I mean? Like, and if like I feel like that just like if anything was there, like that would make something happen. You know what I mean? Like that just like, but I wouldn't do that when I was younger. Like when I was like 11, 12, like I was too scared to do that type of shit. Like I would like be outside taking the trash out and I'd like run back inside. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I still do that. I'm telling you, I don't know why, but I'm too curious for my own good. When I first learned about marble hornets,
like I won't go there. You know what the fuck part is? Like I won't like feel like I'm curious enough to go there, but like I want to look and like I'll like look in areas where like I know looking in this direction will kind of scare me, but like I feel I have to look in that direction because if I don't look, then like something could come upon me. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So it's like I'll be like, fuck.
I have that in dreams sometimes. Like, it's kind of weird. I don't know if you guys have had this, but I've had it in some of my dreams. And these are dreams I still like that are kind of recent. It's like this weird feeling that I know a dream can easily turn into either a nightmare or... Not really night terror. Like, I do have a difference between nightmares and night terrors. Nightmares, I feel like, one, aren't as scary, and two, I have more control over. Yeah. Where a night terror, like I said, like that night, I thought I woke up and all of a sudden...
No control.
Yeah, all of a sudden I literally just felt like people were pulling my arms, and I thought I heard talking.
Or I hate when you feel like you can't get away from something, and like it always knows where you are, type shit. You know what I mean?
Like it follows.
Yeah, exactly. Like it follows.
Well,
you know what I mean? Like, or like I'll be running from shit, and I'll get somewhere and hide and think I'm good, and then like it'll know where I'm in. You know what I mean? I'm like, fuck, like. But like, I feel like I was having a dream where I had more control, but like I just felt like it was like I've had weird dreams where it's like some like apocalyptic type shit, like, and I have to like just make it, you know what I mean, or type shit, like I'm just interacting type shit, and I feel like I have more control. And then like I remember I was having this dream, it was straight like on some like Planet of the Apes type shit, right? And it was like kind of scary, like because it was like on some survival type. But then when it got real scary, is when like there was like some weird shit that was coming after us, right? So everybody was running and shit, and like, but like I felt like I couldn't get away from the motherfucking thing, you know what I mean? So I was like, go get them other motherfuckers, you know what I mean? Like, why are you coming after your boy? And like that's what made it like hella fucking scary. But this was like fucking, I had this dream like 2-3 years ago.
I was gonna say, my nightmares have stuff like zombies. I've had a few nightmares with zombies involved, but it's never really me ever being eaten. If anything, the zombie dreams are fun. I always be killing it. But like, my night terrors are always stuff I can't really explain. Where my nightmares, even if I know it's gonna go bad, it's still something I can kind of explain. Like, waking up from a nightmare for me is me maybe waking up kind of quickly. Kind of like, oh wow, but... Not enough to mess me up where I can get back to sleep.
Have you ever woken up from a dream crying? Or cried after you woke up from a dream because it was so fucked up?
I mean, I have dreamt some pretty bad stuff, but I have to say I've actually never woke up crying, but I have dreamt, you know, the only people who have witnessed have been exes, because obviously they've been, no, you can ask my sister. I've not just, like, I've woken up screaming before, but it's like I start waking up and I'm screaming. But I've had it where I'm laying there just screaming. Okay, and it's been exes, and they got wake me up. Yeah. Because I'm just screaming. And what's weird is when it happens, it's kind of like I know it's happening in real life because the dream kind of ends, and I'm like in this, like,
in between.
I'm like in this blank zone. Yeah. It's like this blank zone where I can't hear myself scream, but like if you went to scream, you know how you can feel it in your chest, you know, because you're putting it out there.
Or like when you talk, you almost hear it in the back of your head.
Yeah. It's like I have, even though I can't hear myself screaming, I can feel it right here that right now I'm exerting all this, you know, and then soon enough, someone an ex wakes me up, you know.
Shoot, when I was like, it was probably like senior year, I had a dream that like I got cancer. And fucking, because I got cancer, my mom shaved her head with me. Like, we, like, shaved our heads together. This was in the dream. Really? And I literally woke up and cried because it, like, fucked me up so much. And, like, she didn't even have the cancer. I had it. And then I started thinking about it. I was like, why did she have to shave her head? Like, I'm a guy. Like, it's okay for me not to have hair. But, like, it was just, like, in the dream, it's because I had the cancer. Like, it was, like, this.
And she was being supportive.
Yeah, it was her trying to be supportive of me.
Yeah.
And, like, in the dream, like, we were, like, crying together and, like, shaving each other's head. And it, like, hella fucked me up. I was like, oh, that was fucked up when I woke. Like, I woke up and I was like, what the fuck? That's fucked up. I started crying and I was like, oh, but it was a dream. It wasn't real.
I've had the dreams that kind of mess with me on an emotional level, because like my night terrors aren't really an emotional level. It's just pure. It's just fear. Yeah. You know. But like dreams that have messed with me on emotional levels are usually friends or family Although with the family, it's kind of different because I'm used to siblings kind of arguing with each other. Mm-hmm. But it's friends being mad at me for something.
Or being out of your control.
And it's out of my control. And it's usually something they'll accuse me of something. And it's like, in the dream, I know I did it. But then I'm like, question myself in the dream, like, wait, why would I do that? I would never do that. Mm-hmm. But here I just stole someone's money or something. Yeah, and now I'm like sitting there questioning why I did it. And so-and-so is now yelling at me, you know? Or I've had people before in dreams try to fight me. But they're like friends, so it messes with me because I just don't want to go off and like, you know, defend myself. I'm like, why does this friend want to like attack me? Yeah. You know? I did have a weird dream. It was kind of freaky because they were talking like demonic voices, but I had this weird dream that like my sisters like were trying to sacrifice somebody to Satan. And they were trying to get me to go along with it.
Most of the dreams I have, like, there's no real speaking. You know what I mean? Like, there's no like words or so, like, you know, the communication is in like most dreams that I've had when like I'm interacting, it's like more so just like almost like telepathic, like it's not like we're talking to each other, we're just kind of but we are, there are times in my dreams where I kind of know that like I'm like getting information from somebody or like feel like I'm talking to somebody or they're speaking to me, but it's not really speaking, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
it's weird. Like, because when I wake up I can never remember really I said this, and this. But I can remember, like, this emotion or this feeling or this task was conveyed somehow in the dream to this, not real person, but, like, person in the dream. And we did this because of it. You know what I mean? But, like, there's not, like, oh, I had this conversation in the dream with this person and then we did. It's weird. You know what I mean? I can never remember having conversations.
Yeah. I'll end on this one. Cause a few nights. So maybe it was last week. So like maybe might have been last night actually. Last night I had a dream, and it was one of the dreams where I had more control in it because it was this weird situation. I think you guys might have been in it, but we were trying to protect somebody, and I asked this person I didn't know, but I was like, "Do you have any weapons?" And they're like, "Yeah." So I'm going through the drawers, and I found this shotgun, right? Well, as I'm walking with it, I'm like, wait a minute, this shotgun is made out of, like, the material, like, it's like a double barrel shotgun, but it's, like, made out of, like, beer can. I'm not joking, like, had Bud Light written all over it. So, I open it up and I look at the gun, I'm like, yo, like, this isn't real. This isn't a real gun. Why did you tell me to use it? And now it was weird as the person's face had, like, this, almost like they didn't know how to respond, and now I'm thinking, like, did I just mess up my own dream? Like, a week ago, I had a dream that I was leaving high school. Like, I was driving off. And I had such control of the dream, I summoned my truck out of nowhere. Like, I literally was walking, I was like, I want...
Bronco?
Yeah, I just was like, I want to drive the Bronco, but it's not physically here. So it's like I created, like, as I started, like, walking into it, even though nothing was there, it just formed around me. And now I'm driving, it feels like I'm really driving. Yeah. So I'm driving, and I knew I had control, because now I'm thinking, hey, what do I want to happen? And I started thinking of some things I want to do. But then all of a sudden I slam my brakes. I'm like, wait a minute, I'm in a dream and I have control. I'm saying this out loud in my dream. And I look up and I go, hey, God, can you hear me? And then like maybe 2 seconds later I woke up. But I was kind of nervous, so I kind of afraid. Not like night terror afraid, but I was kind of afraid when waking up. Because I was like, what if he answered? Because
you felt like you had that much control?
I had that much control. I was actually kind of scared. Because what if God answered? And let's just be honest, that would be... I'm not saying God's terrifying in a bad way, but...
Yeah, I know what you mean.
People who have claimed to have heard God's voice say it's literally the first thing that hits you is fear. Yeah, the first thing that hits you is fear. And then once you know what's going on, that's when you usually feel good, because you know what you're dealing with. But the first thing that hits is fear. Yeah. And literally for a second, I almost felt like that was about to happen. I actually felt like I was almost communicating. Yeah. And then I woke up. Because like I said, I had such control. I slammed the brakes in the truck. Because like I said...
You feel yourself like really driving?
I felt like I was really driving. And I was thinking about... I forgot who... I'll tell you later. I was thinking about seeing somebody. But then all of a sudden it hit me. I'm like, wait a minute. I'm dreaming. I know I'm dreaming. Even though I'm driving the Bronco, and the Bronco's real. Like, I can see the whole inside. It feels like I'm literally driving. I'm like, I have full control of this dream. I slammed the truck, and I'm like, why don't I use this as a moment to try to talk to God? And then, like, 2 seconds after, I was like, hey, do you hear me? I woke up. And then I sat there for a second, almost kind of
I've never had that
stunned.
Like, full control over it in a dream. You know what I mean? Like,
but here's the crazy thing: I've been having more of this lately. Like I said last night, I didn't have that God moment. I didn't think to ask, but I had that full control where I was like, wait a minute, like this situation I'm in is just a total dream, and that's when I was just like, this is fake.
Yeah.
And then like the dream shortly ended after because I just
it always seems like when
once you realize that you usually wake up.
Yeah.
Congrats,
either that or
you played yourself.
Crazy.
I know, but
it's like why can't you make yourself stay in it? You know what I mean?
Well, no, it's got me thinking lately. I'm like, if I have full control, let's say I have a dream again tonight and I know I'm dreaming, I'm like, what happens if I try once again to talk to God? What's going to happen? And
or get find something like some prolific answer to the dream.
Yeah, because I've had some strange, there was a dream I had maybe a couple months ago. It was around my parents' house. I was walking with two friends and I was looking up at the moon. And I was like, oh, the moon looks really pretty tonight. And then, all of a sudden, all these stars started circling around the moon, and then got sucked into the moon and made not an explosion, but a firework, a pew. And all of a sudden, I was like, why did that just happen? But I felt really good, and I felt like I was being pulled up towards it. I actually remember I was leaving the ground, and I was being pulled up towards the firework. Mm-hmm. And all I was in my head was I feel good. It's what's going on? And then I woke up. So
congrats, you got anal probed.
Well, my butt was a little sore afterwards. Speaking of aliens, do we really have anything else to talk about in terms of aliens? I feel like we're done.
Like I said, researching on this subject was like pulling teeth.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about aliens in the ocean, we've talked about what it'd be like to meet them, we've talked about government.
Got it?
I think it's time to cut it.
Got it?
Well, I'll plug our social media right now and give a little update. So, we've been looking into getting on platforms like Spotify and iTunes, but to get on those, we would actually need a website. So we're actually going to go into the works of getting a website. No real ETA as of right now. We're just trying to...
Please donate, guys, so we don't have to get jobs.
Smokey would say that. Smokey would say that. We are not making a Patreon. You know what? We get 100 subscribers on YouTube, we'll do a Smokey reveal. We get 100,000 subscribers on YouTube, we'll do a professor
Nightstalker
reveal. A professor reveal.
No, the internet can't handle my face.
Yeah, you be getting fan mail like crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's actually a good point. We get 1 billion subscribers, we'll do Professor. We get 1 million subscribers, we'll do a Nightstalker reveal. But 100 subscribers, we will reveal Smokey.
Sell me for 100. That's all I'm worth. Shit.
But we are looking into making it. So no real ETA as of right now, but we will make a website. And, we'll make it where you can hear our episodes and maybe maybe we'll have, little, chapters relating to, or episodes, and maybe we can have, notes and stuff. I think that'd be kind of cool.
Yeah.
We'll do something like that. But,
You can see where we got our information.
Yeah, stuff like that, or maybe we'll comprise our own, notes. So it's all in the works. But as for right now, we do have YouTube. We do have 2 social media outlets. We have our Instagram, the Gram,
we have Twitter.
And we do have Twitter. You can always reach out to us or email us. You can just email us as well if you have any supernatural, paranormal story. If you have any questions relating to whether it's episodes or if you just want to ask us a question about something. And then, or if you just want to comment on us, you feel free. We're very open to answering just about anything. You
need that 420? No, I'm playing.
The Nightstalker Podcast does not endorse 420 activities. Smokey can link his Instagram if he wishes. Anyways, but I think that's just about going to do it for the show. So, yeah, this has been the Nightstalker Podcast. Good night, and good luck against them aliens.